Great, you're there. Come along and listen to my story of a guy traversing through the depths of static industry, an automation-based Minecraft modpack. This chapter begins as follows. Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to expand our cyberpunk city with new buildings and machines, fight not one but two bosses, and start working on our secret project, he enthusiastically shouted. In the last chapter he started construction on our fantastic new base, which is a factory disguised as a city. We built this beautiful wall, this okayish house here, and this complete abomination. We also started generating some power and automated our first few electrical items. Let me just fix this house here. And so he did. Way better, booyaka, he shouted, regretting his words the instant he spoke them. He just wasn't a booyaka type of guy. Let's move on. Our hero, our protagonist, now wanted to enrich this incomplete mess of a city with a new building, and it should stand as the highest and greatest of all and tower above all beings, marking their insignificance in comparison to this marvelous creation. Okay, I guess I've gone a bit overboard. He went on. The next building will house a lot of the low to medium voltage electrical age stuff, since our first house is already full and our second is rather small. That's what she said. He mumbled into his blocky hand, embarrassed by the fact that he was, to put it bluntly, just plainly unfunny. Basically, the main mod of this pack, Modded Industrialization, is separated into different stages of voltages. Right now we're at the start of LV, low voltage, and are planning to progress with this new build into MV, medium voltage. But to get this building, we first have to, of course, gather the resources. I feel like I'm just repeating the same points every episode. But whatever, let's go. And so he did, traveling between biomes, the dimensions, mining hundreds, if not thousands of blocks along the way. However, one block stood in his way of completing this enormous task. Bone blocks. We need nearly 500 of them. So, we're going to, everyone? Nobody replied. Automate it by building a moss farm. Just a basic vanilla one with moss and stuff. Awesome. And to explain it shortly, lava and water make stone, piston push stone, dispenser puts bone meals on moss, stone transforms into more moss, push stones break moss, water splash, composters compost, more bone meal. It's quite simple actually. Despite this eloquent presentation, he wasn't happy with the speed of bone meal production, as he was a rather impatient man. So he once again stepped foot into the nefarious nether and went on with his search for bones. Fossil, fossil, fossil. Oh, that's a weird one. Fossil, fossil, fossil. Bastion? Don't care. Fossil, fossil, fossil. As you can see, searching for these ancient skeletons was detrimental to his mental stability. But finally, after some time, he had collected enough. And that's it. Guess we have everything. Yeah. So, Schematic Cannon, my wonderful friend, I bestow upon you the following task. Construct. He's just... no comment. And there it is, it's amazing. Proudly he looked at his creation. Even though a machine did the hard work here, he had nonetheless designed the schematic in a creative world. Probably the best build I've ever done. Let's go through it. Here on the right side we have a small restaurant. This small part was inspired by a build he saw online, link in the description. The customers can sit here and order what's on these frames. The cook sees the order here and can chop some, I don't know, vegetables, cook or make drinks here. It's quite nice. And here's something I placed all over the building. Ads. Or it's supposed to mimic ads. Looking up you can see these holograms spelling MEGGO. Mego, my last name. Yeah, it's a bit weird to build a diagonal 7-segment letter. The G looks more like a 6, but who cares. Despite that, we have some more ads here, a giant arrow pointing to our restaurant, and some more details on the side. From the front you can clearly see that this is not just a singular big building, but rather like a collection of a whole lot of different smaller parts meshed into one place. We have this cool building here on the corner. I really like those carpets up there in front of the windows, and these indents where you can peek inside the factory. There's this space with a cool shape, a tower which I honestly don't like that much, except for this hologram glass LED advertisement thingy. And next to it there are a lot of intertwined apartment building facades. I might have gone a bit too random with the texturing here, but I don't know. Oh, no, it's supposed to be like that. It's art, it's supposed to show how run down this part of the city is. Yeah. If we go up to a higher level, which is right now only possible by going through this jump run, at which I'm obviously a pro, he wasn't, easy as I said. Starting from the right side, we have this red thing with glass planes placed in front of it. I sometimes saw builders using this to add like detail to it from afar, and I tried it and yeah, totally works. It looks like there's some more depth to this texture. I like it. But let's turn around to see this tent here, where sadly a poor soul has to live. These sea pickles here are supposed to be like used up bottles. You see, the oppressive nature of capitalism corrupts not just the real world, but also reaches into the virtual. But together, my comrades, we can stop that. Workers of the world, I got a bit carried away there. Yeah. This bright building here in the middle is probably my favorite. I just love this block palette of sandstone, strip birch, and especially bone blocks. I saw this once in a beat-ups video, and I fell in love with it. To continue, here's another cool building with these colored signs, which sadly have a really short render distance in this mod pack. So you never really got to see them from afar. Above it, there's a little walkway for maintenance, a cable connection with levers, and this building with another amazing block palette. Somehow I really like the idea of integrating dirt into your builds, I don't know why. And that cobble blocks, always awesome, they just look so cool, agree. And yeah, lastly, there's this wood part, which is cool I guess, and a big owl hole. And a 3, representing the minutes passed since I started talking about this building. He had no idea if this estimation was true, he just guessed. Now let's continue with the technical stuff, the electrical age. With the parts he managed to automate last time using this terrible looking setup, he crafted an alloy smelter, which finally allowed him to craft the netherite ingots he's been dreaming of for so long. Netherite, I've waited so long. Let's go back home and use it. Looking fancy, but now back to work. Our stylish protagonist crafted all the electric versions of the already known machines. These blocks now aren't powered with pure steam anymore, but with this turbine here and these cables. And what makes these electric machines so special is the ability to overclock. This means the more they continuously run, the faster they produce while using up more power. The only problem right now is we don't have the resources to run them continuously. Therefore, we need the electric quarry, which automatically produces resources while using drills. We already have a steam quarry below our old factory, but it can only generate a few ores and is quite slow. So we're going for the upgraded version, which requires aluminium. Aluminum? I don't know. Getting aluminum is sadly a bit annoying, as you can't just mine it somewhere. It was a troublesome undertaking. We not only need to get bauxite dust, we also need to construct the EBF. The electric blast furnace. It's a really important multi-block of which we will, in the future, build a lot of, probably. But not only that, bauxite to aluminium is not a 1-to-1 ratio. No, because that would be too easy and I really like to suffer. It's a 1-to-9 ratio. For one bauxite block, you get one aluminium ingot. And it takes 100 seconds to process, without overclocking of course. Awesome. And now, after producing some invar by mixing nickel and iron, we are able to construct our first EBF. And after some time, our first ingot of aluminium. However, we needed way more. So, now we wait. Alright, I have to entertain you guys. Maybe you guys like, subscribe and comment this video, and then we'll go to the end. Sounds like a plan to me. He couldn't craft ender eyes at this point in time, as he needed a machine for this, which also required aluminium. However, we can use the narrative technique of who cares about that to ignore this chronological inconsistency. And so he threw his first ender eye, following its trail until he finally reached his destination. It must be down there. We found it. He made his way through the interconnected labyrinth of this stronghold. Portal not here. Nothing. 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 Oh, this must be a jail. Nothing. Nothing. A main hall. But what's this? Skulk was scattered across the stronghold, corrupting every block it touched. Maybe this will show me the way to the portal. After some more troublesome searching and disappointing loot, he finally found the portal room. Shockingly, he could see the skulk has corrupted the portal room. I hope this won't be a problem. Anybody heard of foreshadowing? Let's just put the eyes in the frame. And so he jumped. Separated from the main island, he found himself on top of a small obsidian platform. He saw the dark sky, the yellow stone and obsidian towers, and knew that there was only one way to get back. slay the dragon. However, he soon realized that he had made a fatal mistake. I don't have a bow. Guess we're doing it the hard way. Launching himself in the air with his slime sling, he jumped from tower to tower, risking his life while destroying the end crystals. The first, second, third, and after some time the 10th and last crystal fell victim to his hammer. Now we can fight him directly, and so he went on, waiting for the dragon to perch, getting under it and hitting it over and over. This is so boring. Yeah, he's right. Slowly the dragon's health was depleting, and finally one last hit and he's dead. Awesome. However, this wasn't the end of his journey to the end. He wanted to get an elytra, therefore he had to visit the outer islands. Let's go through this. He came out on the other side, where the end wasn't just a dark hell. No, it was a colorful alien world. But we don't care about that. We are looking for an ant city. Narrative time skip. Are you kidding me? After some time, he had found an average-sized ant city, sadly without a ship. So we went further, searched every corner, pulling off some really deadly stunts that luckily were successful. Until... that's what I'm talking about. Mego fought his way through the city, until he was high enough to jump onto the ship. We got an elytra, and combining it with our sling and our double jump, we can get really high. While playing with his new toy, he managed to find an ant gateway, allowing him to get back to the main platforms. Let's get back home. Did you guys see this? Well, let's just go on. How's our aluminum? Putting the obscure thing he saw aside, he focused on progressing again. The bauxite was completely processed into aluminum. Now we can use this aluminum to create some diode circuit boards and transistors. And with them we can craft electronic circuits. And when using the EBF to make silicon, we can also make the advanced machine hull. And with this he reached the MV stage. Using the hull and some other items, he was able to craft an electric quarry. First, however, he wanted to have two from the start, as he wanted to use both copper and steel drills simultaneously. Both yield different, really important ores. Second, now just some more blocks and we can construct them. And we will do this inside our new building. And yes, there will be a wall back here someday, this is just for now. Before he did this, he crafted the chemical reactor, the machine needed to make the ender ice he used earlier. Yeah. And after finishing the construction of both quarries, he connected two MV steam turbines to his power setup. He had upgraded it before to produce 4 times as much energy, as he knew that he would need a lot of it. And now we put some drills in here and it starts producing. Amazing. And the quarries also are overclockable, so they're going to be pretty fast. However, we don't have any processing of these items yet. Surely this will be easy. Oh, after a long time of manually configuring pipes and machines, using up over 100 diamonds and huge amounts of resources, he created this wonderful setup. Each of the 22 different ores had its own set of machines, crushing and smelting the ore. Guys, this was so exhausting to set up, but this will help us tremendously. Now we just have to automate all of the different items that we can craft with these resources. But we won't do this in today's episode, as this is the end. No, this wasn't the end. Even though he didn't build the train network promised in the last video, he started with laying the groundwork for the secret project, our magic hub. But for this we have to go far away. And so he set off, advancing into the snowy plains where he established his new building camp. First custom tree I've ever built, by the way. Don't really know if I'm happy with it. But guys, you know, I like to compare sizes. The bigger the better. My home was made of around 4,000 blocks. The factory had already 3 times as much, 12,000 blocks, which is nothing compared to the city platform alone, which is like 30,000 blocks, with around 15 to 20,000 extra blocks added by the wall and the buildings. This build here will be a bit bigger. Let's take a small look at the amount of blocks needed. It were nearly 200,000. The enormous amount of resources needed, mainly smooth quartz, diorite and concrete, are quite annoying to get in huge quantities. How would our protagonist get this many blocks? Yeah, it's going to take a while, but guys, I found something by building the camp. Back here in this small ravine, I found a trapdoor, but I didn't open it. Let's do that now. Courageously he opened it, revealing a long ladder. He descended it until he found something truly amazing. No way, is this the quartz and diorite producinator 2000? Wow, what a coincidence. It just needs this monster of water wheels. He had designed this machine all by himself, explaining its janky and giant appearance. Nonetheless, it works way simpler than it looks. Back here, these generators make cobblestone which gets placed onto this conveyor belt. The cobblestone then gets crushed into gravel, and the gravel gets crushed into sand, just like we do in our factory, where we produce glass and clay, if you can recall. Here, however, we only care for the sand, so we destroy all the other unimportant items. The sand gets brought up here, where it's blasted by soul fire, creating soul sand. There's no reason to have this many bells here instead of just one. I thought they looked neat this way. The soul sand then gets brought up to another level, where it's washed, producing both quartz, which we want, and gold nuggets, which we hate. Get away. Next step is to place this quartz into mechanical crafters with these arms, which is super cool. On this side, we produce diorite by combining the quartz with some cobblestone, and on the other side, we make quartz blocks, which we then melt into smooth quartz blocks. It's an incredible feat of engineering, I know. It was hideous and way too big, but it got the job done. Still, 69,000 smooth quartz blocks and 10,000 of other quartz blocks take some time to produce, so our protagonist had to spend his time doing other activities. For example, preparing the building site. Oh, this will take so long. We need a beacon. For the last time in this chapter, he stepped foot into the nether, farming wither skeleton after wither skeleton, until he got not one, not two, no, 3 whole wither skeleton skulls. Back in the overworld, he summoned the wither, far away from his home. Nothing could stop him, except, yes, he forgot to bring his bow again. I'm such an idiot. After a short trip back home, he was now able to face his foe. Got him. This was easy. And there's the star. And so he made a beacon and started mining way faster than before. During this mining, he also constructed a setup producing both gravel and sand for crafting concrete. And after some long time, the area was finally somewhat cleared. The last thing he had to prepare were dyes. He needed approximately 20 stacks of black dye and 30 stacks of other dyes. Curious with which creative invention we will amass these dyes? Let me present it to you. Yeah, we're going to bone meal flowers. Oh, this will be so boring. He was right in that assumption. It was. Even though the field he had made in front of his home in an effort to procrastinate was a nice contrast to his usual surroundings, he still had to bone meal and destroy thousands of flowers. I hate myself for this. Why am I doing this? For your entertainment? It can't be for mine, that's clear. Am I really just doing this so strangers on the internet can congratulate me for having such a nice video? I could spend my time much more wisely. I could, I know, learn language, read a book, plan the socialist world revolution, but no, I'm here breaking flowers. And so he distracted himself from this monotonous task by focusing his brain on self-pity and reflection until he was finally done. I'll only build stuff out of cobblestone from now on. And now, the only thing he could do was wait for the rest of the materials to be produced. Just as you can now wait for the next episode of Static Industry, presented by me, your humble narrator. Or maybe ScriptMago will structure the next video in a different way and there won't be any narrator anymore. Who knows? Let me know if you like me being here. Next episode, we will build this giant structure and start our journey into magic. And now, remember what he said at this time code. I hope you had an amazing time and goodbye.